America's Pulse Network welcomes you to the Pulse Podcast. Today we've got a packed show, from breaking news to informative topics that will keep you well informed. So, please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the APN's The Pulse Podcast talks about, then please share the Pulse with others. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. Tonight's APN's The Pulse Podcast starts now.
Hey everybody, good late evening. We've had some pretty serious technical difficulties, as you can tell. I got a different background now, and we were gone for a while, but we think we got it fixed. It was all on my end, so we should be good now. So we're going to try this all again, and we're going to post this after like we normally do. So if you don't watch it now, and I don't blame you, it's kind of late. If you're old like me, people are probably in bed now. But we're going to try it anyway. So hope you all having a good week so far. I know it's Wiener Wednesday, so hope you had your hot dogs today and are looking forward to the last 2 days of the week. Just a little information. I think I'm not quite sure yet. Next week I will be out of pocket for probably a week or two, possibly. I'm trying to get, or there's a surgery scheduled, but some issues have popped up, and they might need to reschedule my surgery. So I won't know until tomorrow or Friday what's going on. But just give you a heads up, because I know all 10 of you that watch me will be upset if you don't see me next weekend, and I don't want to upset the viewers I got, because I got to keep you all. I need you. So just that's what's going on with that. And I'll keep you up to date. As soon as I know, you'll be the fourth or fifth person I tell, I swear. But yeah, I hope you had a good week. And yeah, I noticed the camera's moving a lot. But that's just so the picture behind me doesn't look off angle. So we'll do some adjustments we'll have to make before I come back on. But anyway, so thanks for putting up with this. I appreciate it. Sorry about the delay. So let's get right into the breaking news and talk about some of that stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about, I don't know if you haven't heard about this, you've probably been living under a rock. It was in Pensacola, Florida. The Blue Angels were doing an air show. I think it was Breakfast with the Angels or something like that. And one of the pilots took a pretty low pass over the crowd that had assembled, obviously, to watch them. Low enough to where when the jet wash hit them, umbrellas were blown away, chairs were knocked over. Some people stumbled and fell. I don't think anybody complained, because you're at an air show and it's the Blue Angels, and they're probably like, "Oh, that's cool as hell." I mean, it was real. Like, if you had thrown a baseball in the air, you'd have hit that jet. It was pretty low, probably a little lower than the pilot intended. But if I was going to be flown over by a pilot that low and that fast, I would feel much better at being a Blue Angel than Billy Bob, who does the crop dusting down the street for me. I don't think at any point when that was going on was anybody in any danger. But of course, the Karens came out. Trump's fault. Trump should be ashamed. Number one, Trump has nothing to do with this at all, period. Nothing. He's the president of the U.S. This is a Navy air show. He's got nothing to do with this. The Secretary of the Navy is who people should be complaining about. And he came out and said, you know what, suck it up. No harm, no foul. There'll be no charges pressed against the pilot. He's not going to be grounded. Life happens. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth said the flyovers will, continue until morale improves. There was nothing wrong with this. I mean, really, people were probably excited for that to happen. I'm sure the pilot was a little like, damn, I banked too hard or whatever. I'm not a pilot. I don't know. But I'm sure he was. I don't even think he was concerned. Again, if that was going to happen to you, that's the best type of pilot to have it happen with, a Blue Angel. Again, there was no threat of injury from the plane at any time. From everything I've read, there's been no reported injuries from the flyover, nothing. It's just a bunch of white, rich, liberal women with too much free time on their goddamn hands bitching about something that has nothing to do with the person they're bitching about, has nothing to do with Trump. But every post you saw was Trump did this, Trump did that. Trump needs to be impeached. He put people in danger. You know what? It's like these liberal women call people Nazis and fascists. They say it so much, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Nobody cares. So they complain about Trump. Nobody cares. Shut up and go make a sandwich. I mean, find something to do with your time rather than spend all your time looking for reasons to be pissed off at somebody. Get a life or get married or get divorced. Whatever you need to do it, because we're tired of dealing with your shit. During the July 2026 practice run in Pensacola, Florida, a Blue Angel jet made an abnormally low pass over a crowded beach. The maneuver sent chairs, sand, and umbrellas flying. No injuries were reported. While the commander called it unsafe, Pentagon and White House officials celebrated the high-speed flyby. It is what it is. It's done and over with. Let's move on. But this is going to stay in the news for weeks. I'm sure there's going to be people like 2 months down the road that they got PSD now because of it. They're going to sue the government and try to hit the ghetto lottery. It's getting ridiculous. The Navy investigated it. Navy leadership and the Blue Angel commander fiercely investigated the incident, but concluded that the pass was a miscalculation and issued no firings or reprimands. And that's the end of it. There we go. All right, next story. I don't know where you live when you're watching this, but I live in Maryland. And this is obviously a picture of the Canadian fires that are going on. 2 or 3 days ago, and for like a day and a half, I could see the smoke at my house. It was very bad. It's hazy. When I first woke up, I thought it was fog. But as it got worse, I realized it was smoke from the Canadian fires. Right now, there are over 890 active wildfires apparently there. 100 of them have been officially classified as out of control. So I don't know if that means the other 790 are under control. I don't know. But yeah, it's so far this fire season in Canada, roughly 3,915 wildfires have scorched 7.5 million acres of land. That's a lot. And apparently the National Forest Service in America has said that the Canadians are to blame for this because they're not doing shrubbery clean out and stuff like that in the forests. They're not like cleaning it up a little bit. So there's a lot of fuel, obviously, for these fires. So they're kind of saying, hey, you guys put down your beers and stop watching hockey for a couple minutes and go take care of your country. I don't know if there's been any deaths attributed to this yet or anything like that. But like I said, it has affected some of the East Coast and I think the Midwest and the Northwest. And I don't know how much longer we should be expecting smoke and or poor air quality. I think the other day they said the air quality was so bad if you went outside for like 10 minutes, it was the equivalent of smoking a pack of cigarettes or something like that. So yeah, it wasn't not a good thing, and you could smell it. There was a definite like smoke flavor in the air. So yeah, Canada's burning, and it's bad. I mean, that's a lot of wild forest that's gone. And a quick science lesson, we get trees or plants take in CO2 and release oxygen. So it's pretty important that we have them. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really, really, really addicted to oxygen. I guess you could call me an oxygen addict. So I hope they get that under control. And I hope there's no deaths. I mean, that's most important, that nobody dies. Well, no, I guess most important is oxygen. Because if that affects it, a lot of people die. So that's Canada for you. What can you expect? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. 7.4 million acres have burned. They're saying it was driven by summer heat, dry conditions, and strong winds. They're saying there's 900 active wildfires burning simultaneously. So I guess the 3,915 is just like total for the year. And currently there's 900 active which is a lot. I mean, one wildfire is a lot. I can't imagine trying to fight 900. That's kind of crazy. All right, let's go to the next story. There we go. This is a cool one. I think before I get into it a lot, the doctor said it's like a 1 in 15 million chance that this could happen. This woman, I think it was in Australia, gave birth to identical quadruplet daughters. And they said that's a 1 in 15 million chance. That's pretty cool. I'm sure it's going to be a Herculean task for her to raise 4 children. And she's 34 years old. Her name is Gentar Sal Namaona. So I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. But yeah, I think that's really cool. Identical twins is, I don't think the odds are that bad. If you have 3 twins, you're probably getting up there. But to have 4 identical twins, like I said, is 1 in 15 million for that to happen. And from what I've read, it's natural. I don't think there was any like fertility drugs used or anything. Again, from what I've read and seen, that could be wrong, but that's and she's 34 in Australia. And they didn't have the names of the babies posted, so I don't know what they're going to be. I would just name them north, south, east, west, and keep it simple. That way you can just don't have to remember much. But yep, there they are, the 4 babies, all identical, all girls, all born to one woman. 1 to 15 million. If I were her, I'd hit the casino or start buying lotto tickets because she's on a run. That's pretty impressive. So there's other breaking news, but and this may not be breaking now, but this is stuff that has caught my eye, and I just wanted to talk about it. So there's that. So let's jump on ahead here. Now we're the title of this next segment is period. End of story. And before I get into this, I want to make make sure everybody understands. I am not picking on people when I do this because I don't know these people. So in a story, if I'm making fun of someone, I don't know them. I'm making fun of their business or their policies or what they say. I'm not making fun of these people because I don't know them. So save your emails and your text messages saying how nasty and mean I am and I need to lighten up, blah, 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 blah. Because just so you know, if it starts off like that in the first couple lines of the email, I delete it and don't read the rest of it. So you're wasting your time. Just so that's there. All right, so let's bring up this next. And if you haven't heard this, I don't know. I really don't. His name is Ashley Webb. She is running for the planner's position that he stepped down from in Maine. I believe it's Senate. Of course, she's a transsexual, as you can tell. I mean, he's not fooling anybody. He's got more beard than I got. And of course, they had a debate, or not really a debate, like a forum with a couple other candidates, like last week, I believe. And, why do you want to be, what makes you think that you're a good candidate for this position? And her answer pretty much in a nutshell is, I wrote a children's book. I'm an intelligent person and I can empathize. And this is the kicker. This is why I'm talking about her. He has rectal periods once a month. That's what he said. I experience monthly abdominal cramping and bleeding due to hormone fluctuations through my rectum. That's, and they said it with a straight face. Everybody on the stage kind of shook their heads like, yeah, I understand your pain. I don't, like I said, I'm not making fun of it. Obviously, this person has a mental illness, obviously. And I feel nothing but sorrow for them. And I hope they get the help they need. And for everybody on that stage and everybody in that crowd to hear a man say that I have periods through my rectum, I bleed monthly through my rectum, and to enable that person to go, yeah, that's rough. I think those people need help too. And I've used this analogy before. If your friend comes to your house and they have a bone sticking out of their arm and it's bleeding, and you go, hey man, you got a compound fracture. We need to get you to the hospital. And they go, no, it's not a compound fracture. It's a wing. I'm okay. As a friend, would you go, oh, all right, that's fine. You got a wing. That's cool. Let's go get a couple beers. Or would you go, no, man, you have a serious medical issue. We need to address this. Let's get you to the hospital and have somebody who can look at you. I don't understand how these people enable. I think I read somewhere before that transsexuals, there's actually like 1% of 1% who actually are transsexual, that don't have a mental illness. That's how they're wired, that, hey, I'm not a guy, I'm not a girl, I'm a man, I'm a woman. The rest have mental illness. Mother Nature really doesn't screw up that often. And Mother Nature will self-correct. It may take decades or centuries, but it self-corrects. And we have people now, a man who says they get periods through their rectum. Someone just said that's called hemorrhoids, not a period. And we all know that number one, no, they're not bleeding monthly through the rectum. We know this. Number two, if they are, that's what it is. Hemorrhoids or whatever, like a cut on your butt. I don't know. But it's not a period. It's not a menstrual cycle because men can't have that. That's strictly for the female species. But for no one to say something to this man and go, look, dude, it's great that you're running for political office. That, I applaud that. But let's get you somewhere so you can talk to some people, because you have a fucking mental illness. If you truly believe you are bleeding through your ass because you're having a period, we need to get you checked out, because number one, if you are bleeding from your ass, that's not healthy. There's a problem there, and we need to get you checked out. And number two, more likely, you're not bleeding from your rectum. You think you are. We still need to get you checked out, because that's not normal. And that's not insulting anybody. That's not making fun of anybody. That's concern for another human being. But instead, we have people in this country that are more worried about being woke and everybody liking them, so they don't pull out with the truth. They back off and go, oh, yeah, okay, we'll enable it. That's great. So that person needs help. And it's sad to see that nobody's told this person, you need some help. I mean, he could be a very nice guy. I don't know. All I know is he stood on TV and said that he has rectal bleeding and cramping because he has periods monthly. After that, you kind of tune out everything else. You're kind of like, what? And you got to look at your buddy and go, did he really say that? Is nobody going up on stage and getting him to a hospital? Guy just said he's bleeding from his ass. And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Let's go to the next slide here. Another mental midget. Sarah McBride is I believe Congress. He is a transgender who thinks she's a woman. Very outspoken. I've listened to some of what he says, and not once has he said anything that made me go, oh, wow, that's very profound. That's very intelligent. I can't find fault with that. And I'm not saying it's just him. A lot of people in Congress, when they speak, I'm utterly shocked they can dress themselves. But what I'm about to tell you about this person is pretty much like the pot calling the kettle black. Sarah McBride made a statement against, of course, Trump. McBride stated that Congress needs to prevent Trump from intervening in countries where he wants to play cowboy. She went on to say that he hates, or she hates, when people act like something they're not. The transsexual said, I hate when people act like they're something when they're not. So the dude that thinks he's a chick doesn't like when people act like they are something when they're not. If that's not, hey, pot, hello, my name is Kettle, I don't know what else to tell you. That is probably, well, I can't say my entire life. In the last week, the stupidest statement anybody with an IQ above 2 has made that I've heard. for a transsexual to stand up and say, I don't like when people pretend to be something that they're not. Did somebody tap her on the shoulder, him on the shoulder, and go, "Hey, you probably shouldn't have said that part out loud. That's probably something you should have kept as internal monologue." No. And again, I'm not making fun of this dude. I don't know him. He could be a great guy. So I'm making fun of his statements and what he in his platform. Again, this is another person that needs mental help. I mean, that statement alone screams, help me. That really sounds like a redirection to me. Blame everybody else for what you do. Accuse people of what you do. That way that you can deflect the blame. I don't really think, I mean, when you look at the transsexual community, they have the highest suicide rates, highest depression rates, among other things. And then they will all turn around and say, well, they only suffer that because they couldn't transition sooner. But the thing is, after they transition, it doesn't get any better. It stays the same. If not, it gets a little worse. So transitioning has nothing to do with it. That's not the problem. Again, Mother Nature does not make mistakes very often, and they are far and few between. I think the problem is that they're going against their nature. You know, just because you feel something doesn't make it necessarily so. I feel like I'm a millionaire, and I feel like I'm the best looking man in the world. Doesn't make it so. And nobody I know is going to play along with that. Because if they do, they know they're feeding into delusion, which is not healthy for me. So if a friend of mine, and I've said it before, but a friend of mine came to my house today and said, hey, you know, I'm going to transition to a woman because I felt like I've been in the wrong body for a lot of years, and it just doesn't feel normal to me right now, and I want to be a woman. Well, if you know me and my friends, the first thing I do is I would laugh at them and point at them and call them all sorts of names because that's the relationship I have with them. But after I got done laughing at them, I would sit them down and find out what the problem was, because obviously there's something wrong. And it's not because you feel like a woman. Something is going on in your melon that isn't driving, and we need to find out what that is. And that's what needs to happen to like that the guy that says he has rectal periods. Dude, that's not healthy. If you are in fact bleeding from your butthole, that ain't healthy, man. You need to get checked out. And number two, you probably shouldn't be saying that on national TV. That's just me. That's something I'd keep to myself. Not that I'd be embarrassed, but because that's a pretty serious medical issue if it's the case. And if it's not happening, like I said, you still need help because what you're doing isn't normal. And then you got this Sarah McBride dude. The transsexual. I don't like it when people act like there's something and they're not. Kind of like a man who acts like a woman. Is that what, would that fall under what you don't like? We've come to a stage in this country where rather than be helpful and give people, a hand, we want to feed their delusions. We want to enable them because we don't want to be that person. We don't want to be the one that everybody goes, oh, that's the guy that told Steve that he wasn't Sarah. He's really Steve. We would rather watch people suffer than do the right thing, because everybody knows doing the right thing ain't easy. You don't make many friends doing the right thing. But in the end, doing the right thing is its own reward. If the studies showed that after you did your transition, life got better for you, like depression rates went down, suicide rates went down, all the other horrible things that are associated, like the infections that you get. I mean, because when I've read when a man becomes a woman, and I'm not going to get into graphic detail because it's horrible, they kind of cut you in four and then tuck it in. And that stays an open wound. It never really heals. All that. And if all that weren't bad and after this all happened, you were 100% healthy and happy and everything was great, power to you. Congratulations. Go live your life. But it's not the case. Things get worse. and nobody says anything. Like, hey, don't do this. Here are the facts. Your life is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. Why don't you deal with reality? Let's do this together and see if we can find a solution. And if after a couple of years of going to therapists and talk, whatever we do, if you still feel this way, I can't stop you. I can't. I wish you the best, but I can't stop you. I mean, we need to stop treating this type of illness as normal. It's not normal. And again, I'm not insulting these people. I'm not making fun of these people. I'm stating a fact. Normal means over 50% of the world's population does something. That makes it normal. When less than 50% of the population doesn't do it, that makes it abnormal, not normal. I think it's 1% of the world's population is transsexual. That's not normal. That's abnormal. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it wrong. Just makes it abnormal. And we need to start getting these people help. And especially the parents that allow their 13 and 14-year-old sons and daughters to take hormone blockers because they don't feel like they're in the right body. You know what? Be a goddamn parent. Tell them no. You're 13. You just got out of diapers a few years ago. You're not making these major decisions, number one. Number two, I'm not pumping you full of drugs when we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. And if you think you're a girl, we're going to take you to somebody to talk to because you're not. You're a boy or you're a girl. You're not a boy. But we have too many parents that want to be the cool people on the PTA, that want to be the most woke parents in the neighborhood, that when they go to the HOA meetings, everybody's like, oh, look, it's Jim and Sarah. Well, they transitioned their 10-year-old. Good for them. I mean, I don't know if you're religious or not, but I think it says somewhere in the Bible about, suffer the little children unto me. And then if you do something to children, they should have a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the deepest part of the ocean. Pretty point blank in the Bible, you don't screw with kids. And that's screwing with kids. Nobody at the age of 13 knows what they want to do. Nobody. I don't care how smart you think the kid is or how worldly and how many books they read. No 13-year-old can plan out their life. Hell, I know 50-year-olds that still can't plan out their life. But we can't let children make these decisions. We have to tell parents, you can't do this. And if you do this, you're going to lose your child. We're not going to allow you to abuse your child. Because then they grow up to be like Ashley, what's her name? Ashley Webb, who thinks they have rectal periods. So no, we're not letting you do this to the kids anymore. And if that pisses you off, that sounds like a you problem. Feelings are not important. Facts. What's right? That's what's important. I don't care what these parents go to the PTA meeting. Well, my son Johnny, I let him wear a dress. How's that going to help your son Johnny in 20 years? When he finally wakes up and goes, Jesus, I really screwed up. Like there's something I read and there's a meme, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pirate, but thank God my parents didn't whack off my leg and cut out my eye to get me a peg leg and an eye patch. Things have changed so much since I was a kid. And this is just an example. This is a prime example. You do what makes you feel good. Nobody's going to call you out on it. No one's going to tell you that you're wrong. You just do what you want to do, and we're all going to play along with your delusion. Now, I'm not saying you go out and insult and attack these people. You can be respectful. If you go, excuse me, sir, and they go, no, I'm a woman. You go, okay, just excuse me then. I'm going to get past you. You don't have to get into a back and forth with them because you're not going to win because they're not mentally stable. You're not going to change their mind with facts because they are who they are, and it doesn't matter if it's in reality or not. So you don't have to be nasty to these people, but be honest. And I know in this day and age, honesty is the same thing as attacking somebody because nobody wants to hear honesty if it's about them. As long as you're talking about somebody else and being honest, it's all, peaches and cream. But the second you're honest about them, then you got to stop because now you're being an asshole and you're being judgmental and nobody wants to hear your stuff anyway. Yeah, that's just my opinion on that. And before we go to the break, you are at the right place. This is the Pulse. We did have some major technical issues earlier, We got him straightened out. As you notice, I don't have the green screen anymore. I got Tony Soprano looking over my shoulder and Syl giving me the stink eye. I'm doing solo tonight. As you all know, Damon Galdo is running for Congress in New Jersey in District 1. He had some things he had to attend to tonight, which is understandable. Again, he's running for office. Excuse me. Alexandra Levine is also helping some people in Maryland who are running for office. She's a consultant. They had some things they had to do tonight, so she couldn't be here. And Elena Barbera is helping David run his webpage or something, I believe. So she's kind of busy updating that and getting everything together for him. So I'm the only guy with no life. So I took over the show for this evening. And you get to be stuck with me. And I'm Seth from the conservative corner. I'm sure some of you, like at least 2 or 3 of you, have watched that show. Podcast, not a show, it's a podcast. You've watched the podcast, so you should know who I am. And if you don't, now you do. Thanks for coming by tonight, hanging out. We got a little bit more of the podcast left, so we're going to take a break, pay some bills, and then I'll be right back with you.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
America's Pulse Network. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. If you like what the APN's The Pulse podcast talks about, then please share The Pulse with others.
Oh. Gotta love this camera. It's got a mind of its own. There we go. And I'm back. So again, if you have anything you want to chat, like Can 76. Yes, the smoke was awful. I do agree with that. And like I said, I don't know how much longer we're going to deal with it. I mean, I don't think it was bad today. I didn't see it at least, so maybe we've got through the worst of it. I don't know. I agree. There's people who think that guy's actually having a period are crazy. I 100% agree. They're probably crazier than him. But so yeah, if you got something you want to say, put it over here in the chat, and I will get to it if I can. And if I don't, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just I'm doing something else and not paying attention, which is usually the reason for most of the issues I have in my life. So let's go to the next segment. We call this segment, it's déjà vu all over again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Iran is a boil on the ass of the world. And I'm talking about the government, not the people. Their regime is a boil on the ass of the world. They do what they want to do, say what they want to say, and nobody smacks them in the mouth and says, that's enough. Sit down and be quiet. So you remember we got into a little skirmish with them a while ago. Then we all agreed, hey, we're going to have a ceasefire. We'll sit down and talk. Here we are again with Iran doing the same shit now that they did before the ceasefire. Attacking ships in the Strait, launching missiles at their neighbors, making all sorts of threats. And the same idiot liberals are going, well, we need to go to the peace talk. We need to go to the peace table and talk. No, we don't. No, we don't. I don't know, man, how many times someone has to punch you in the face until you realize they're punching you in the face. We need to start dealing with Iran harshly. If the rest of the world wants to sit by with their thumb up their ass, that's fine. We'll deal with them later. Right now, we need to deal with Iran as if they were an enemy, that if like we are at war. Our aim should be to kill all the people in that government. That should be our sole purpose right now. And we have the military, the capability, and the technology to do it. if we really, really wanted to, this war would have been over in a week. If we let loose the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Air Force, this would have been over in a week. I don't know why we're playing around with these people. I don't know why we allow them to hang around. I don't know why we allow them to control the Strait of Hormuz when legally, according to international law, they have no legal rights to do that. They have no legal right to shut it down and charge a toll and attack ships. I don't know why we allow this to happen. And we've allowed it to happen for decades, since, 47 years. They've killed Americans. They've taken Americans hostages. They've killed other Arabs. They've killed the English. They've killed at least one of every race on the face of the planet at one time or another, directly, sometimes indirectly, through their proxies, the Houthis and the Hezbollah and all the other knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing subhumans they pay to kill people. And we allow this to go on. Let's bring up this first picture here. This is what we should be doing. Bombing the shit out of them continuously. U.S. forces launch what CENTCOM says are precision strikes on Iranian military targets. Awesome. Keep it up. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't give them a minute of respite. Don't give them a minute to breathe. Continually bomb the shit out of them. The people in Iran are happy we're there. Every time they interview someone in Iran, they're applauding that we're there. They're applauding that we're taking out their government. So the people want us there. So we don't have to worry about that. And if all the other allies are going, you shouldn't be doing this, fuck them. Because they'll be the ones first in line to go get gas once we got all this shit straightened out. So screw them. They can sit there and shut up with the thumbs up their butt, screaming and yelling about Israel. They need to, every good person should know their limitations. When we're finding out what Europe's limitations are. Anything that requires balls and a sack, they're not going to be in for. So this is what we're doing. And I think like 11 hours straight the other day, they bombed them, which is still short 11 hours, I'd say. They should have kept it going. You can only bully people for so long. And Iran's been bullying people in the Middle East and the world for decades. And I think part of the problem is that we've let this go on for as long as it has. It's like if you have a child who's disrespectful and unruly, and you notice it one day, but you really don't say anything about it. And it goes and goes and goes for months and months, and you really don't say anything about it. You might once in a while go, hey, you need to calm down, or don't do that, but you really don't put any bite into that bark. It's lip service. And then one day they do something really crazy. And you're like, this is it. We're done. And you go to punish them, and they like hit you. And you're like, well, who are you? The question is, why did you let it go on that long? You created this monster. This is your fault. You can't blame them for doing what you're allowing them to do. We've allowed Iran to run the show for I don't know how long, with little to no consequences. And now that we're doing something back, the whole world's like, oh my gosh, you can't do it. It's like when you finally spank your kid and people see it and think you're the bad guy. They don't know the backstory. They just see you finally reaching your point and going, okay, that's enough. And you paint their back porch red. We're bombing a terrorist state. And now everybody thinks we're the bad guys. Oh, we should be talking to them. Really? Over the last 47 years, all the talks we've had with them, how have they worked out for you? What have they accomplished besides wasting your time and giving Iran the time to rearm, to get more orders out, to regroup, to recruit, and then all of a sudden it starts again. So exactly what does talking to them do? Other than make you look like an idiot and then laugh at you. I don't understand why this, let's talk. Talking time is done. We've tried it. We went to a ceasefire and you started it again. And that's what Trump needs to say. And I'm not a Trump worshiper. When it comes to this, number one, I've parted ways with him. I think he's playing with them too much. I don't think he's being strict enough. I don't think he's being stern enough. I think he's allowing them to do and say whatever they want to say. He's allowing them to run the Strait of Hormuz and really not being proactive. He's being more reactive. We're bombing them because they did something. We're not bombing them because we're tired of it. But I think Trump needs to, you know what? Have a talk again. Meet in Sweden or wherever it is they meet, and it should be very brief. Should be no more than 5 minutes. He shouldn't even sit down. He should go, hey, I'm here. Don't bother sitting down. This is not going to take long. I just want you to know the bombing is going to continue. It's going to get worse. We're going to send more ships over there and more planes, and we're going to keep bombing you. Lots of people are going to die, and that's on you. This all can end today is if everybody in the government surrenders, let's just take them into custody and put you in prison. We'll let the people of Iran decide their own fate, let them decide their own government because they don't want you. And you know they don't want you because you killed over 50,000 of them a few months ago because they were protesting you. So we're not stopping. I don't care what you promise. I don't care what you say you're going to do or what you're willing to do. We're done talking. We're going to kill you. And I just wanted you to hear that directly from me, face to face, so there's no mistaking what I'm saying. There's no misunderstandings. There's no, well, did he really mean that? We are going to kill you unless you surrender unconditionally. This will not stop. It's that simple. You all have a great day. Goodbye. And that should be the last time they speak until they surrender. That simple. Not this back and forth. Well, we'll do this, but we're not conceding that. We're done. We're not. You don't got to concede anything. You don't got to promise us nothing. We don't care. You're a walking dead man and just don't know it yet. They have been doing the same thing to other countries that we should be doing to them. But we're not. And I don't understand why we're not. United States Central Command says has completed its 11th consecutive night of airstrikes against Iran to further degrade the country's ability to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. In a statement late on Tuesday, CENTCOM and U.S. forces targeted Iranian military operations centers, maritime capabilities, aircraft hangars, drone storage facilities, and military logistics infrastructure. And it should keep going. I mean, we know where these people in the government live. Bomb their houses. They have no problem killing their own people. We should have no problem killing them. They killed over 50,000 of their own people. They executed an 18-year-old kid in the street because he's part of the protest. Him and a couple other people in a public execution. If you were a woman and they see your hair, you're going to get stoned. They're going to beat you up. And if, God forbid, if you're gay in these countries, they will kill you. There's nothing about these governments that is redeeming. Nothing. So why we're playing with them, I don't know. Following the collapse of a fragile ceasefire deal between the United States and Iran, scores of American troops have been injured, and at least 4 service members have been killed in escalated attacks in the Middle East. I believe the number's at 18 now, which is sad. Anytime an American service person is killed, it's horrible. But what are you going to do? Nobody wants it to happen, but war is hell. Let's bring up the next slide here. Right now, there's ships stacked up in the Strait of Hormuz again. I didn't see the number, but there's more than 5. Because the Iranians said they're shutting the strip down. I don't know if you've seen the Iranian Navy. It's pretty much cigarette boats, speedboats with, I think, 50 cows mounted to them. I don't think they could really do damage to a tanker or a ship, a cargo ship. And I think if we put a couple of them down, they would stop attacking boats. They are attacking civilian ships, not military ships, civilian. And again, the rest of the world watches and says nothing. Not a thing. While their ships are being boarded or attacked or shot at, they don't say anything. But they will complain when America fires back. Which is stupid. But that's the rest of the world for you. They got their head so far up their ass, they got to open their mouth to see daylight. It's ridiculous. And it's not right. Their country is being attacked. That ship is a flagship of their country. and they're letting him be attacked and boarded and stopped, and all by a country that's like that big on the map. We've allowed the bully to take charge. And we got nobody to blame but ourselves. We've allowed this to go on. This all could have been nipped in the bud decades ago. Could have been nice over there now. Could have had some reasonable people in charge. But no, we won't allow them to run their mouths, chant death to America, shoot missiles at other countries all the time, kill their own people, kill our people, kill other people. And then they say, oh, we're sorry. And then we go, okay. And we back off. And then 5-6 months down the road, they're doing it again. And they go, we're sorry. Okay. We're going to, now you can't do this. Okay. And it doesn't stop them. It keeps going. We have nobody to blame for Iran other than ourselves. The rest of the world has sat by and watched the bully people. And it's become acceptable. How do I know that? Because now that someone's fighting back, the rest of the world's like, well, you shouldn't do that. We should talk. We should try to talk this out. How about you talk it out, and we'll kick their ass, and we'll see which group gets stuff done quicker. It's just, again, no accountability. Do what you want to do, and if somebody stands up and says something, does the right thing, they're the bad guy. I don't know what it's going to take for the world to wake up and realize that Iran is not good. They are not good people. That government is not good. I mean, they killed 50,000 of their own people, for God's sakes. What else do you need to know about them? Let's go to the next slide. Iran says a lot. Every day they're saying, we're going to invade. We have 1 million army personnel ready to fight. We have this. We have billions of rockets. They do a lot of talking. And for what they say they have and what they're going to do, they have done very little. Iran now has said they're ready for at least 6 months of intense war. Every week it's something new. They shot down I don't know if you saw the picture on Facebook. It's like it's supposed to be a jet, and it looks like it's an aircraft carrier because the people standing next to it are like that big. If they could win the war with AI, the whole world would be Iran with their BS propaganda. Iran ain't ready for 6 weeks of intense war. I'm telling you that right now. They have no idea what our capability is. None. I mean, we've seen their Navy. We've seen the best. I think the subs they had, we sank. They don't even have submarines anymore. They don't have any big vessels anymore. We sank them all. They've got those little speedboats and grandpa with a 12 gauge. That's what they got for the Navy. The Air Force is nowhere near as advanced or as well trained as ours is. They're not ready for 6 months. They're not ready for 6 weeks. They don't want 6 days of war. But they're going to do this because they want to bolster themselves up and hope that scares us. I mean, look at that picture where they got like miles and miles of rockets. I mean, come on. They could barely beat Iraq. Again, we're to blame for this. The rest of the world is to blame for Iran. It is our fault. We've allowed the spoiled child to do what they want to do for so long that now they feel entitled to do it. And I hope after all this, there's a big reflection. Like people start looking like, hey, what did we do wrong? How did it get to this point? What could we have done prior to this to kind of curb their terrorist activities? What could we have done? How could we have helped them? Or what should we have done sooner that we didn't? We need to start dissecting these people and why they do what they do and figure out, hey, is there any way we can keep this from happening again? Or maybe we just got to punch them in the nose until they stop. I don't know. I just know that the only thing bully understands is pain. And they don't stop bullying people until the people they bully fight back. Then they stop because bullies are cowards. They don't like people who fight back. But here we are. And again, I don't agree with Trump on this at all. I think he's laid back too much. I don't think he's committed in the way he needs to be committed to make sure this doesn't happen again. That's just my opinion. And no, we don't need to send troops to Iran. It's not needed. Would never be needed. We've got the world's finest Navy and Air Force. It's all we need. And if we were serious about this, this would have been done a month ago. So you don't accuse me of being a Trump worshiper. I don't. I'm tired of talking about Iran. All right. Guess we got to take another break, it looks like, I think. No, we got one more. No, it's a break time. So we take a break, pay some bills, we'll come back, and we'll talk about some other stuff and have fun.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun, and it's informative, and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media. Just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
America's Pulse Network. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. If you like what the APN's The Pulse podcast talks about, then please share The Pulse with others.
Hi, everybody. I am Seth Eisenberg, and you're with The Pulse. Usually we have 3 or 4 other people here. Damon Galdo is running for Congress in New Jersey in District 1, so he's got some things he had to do this evening. Alexandria Levine is helping people in Maryland run for political office, so she also was busy this evening. And Elena Barbera, who's always on the show, is helping Damon Galdo run for Congress in New Jersey, so she's also tied up with some things. And I'm sure there's family issues and family events going on, and they couldn't make it, so you're stuck with me. I am usually the host of the Conservative Corner, and I host the Pulse as well. Like I said, it's usually more than just me. So you are in the right place. You can see right there. You're at the right place, but it's just me. And again, if you're interested in the Pulse and you like the show, please like and subscribe. You can go to our Rumble site and follow and like. That way you get notifications when there's a show upcoming. Get on board. We're pretty good. We make some pretty good shows. You also have you have Damon Galdo, Jersey Shore, Alexandria Levine, All In, Jack, and I can't remember her name. I always mispronounce it, but New Jersey State House Watch. They got a podcast, really good show. As the title suggests, they're very focused on New Jersey and anything going on in their state house. Constance, that's her name, Jack and Constance. Those two both ran for office as well. So check out the podcast on America's Pulse Network. If you like I said, like and subscribe and follow. Share it with everybody. If you've ever thought, hey, I got some ideas, things I'd like to talk about, you want to be a podcaster, hey, let us know. Go to our website. And hey, I want to sponsor one of these shows. Go to the website, and you can do everything there. That is like the brains of the operation. We're always looking for new podcasters. So if you're interested, again, please let us know. And remember, we're growing. We've only been around for about a year, a little over a year. So we're building here, and it takes a little bit of time. So if you're interested, let us know, and we'll take care of you. Also, as always, the puppet master, the man behind the scenes, the man in the shadows, Damon Sherrod. He is the producer. He's taking care of all this. He's been busy tonight because like I said, there were some issues before. We had to call the site that we're using to broadcast out of and had to go through a bunch of things. So he's been running around like a chicken with his head cut off tonight. So he's been real busy. And we appreciate everything he does. We just don't say it a lot. It's just how we are. So this next segment, as you can see, is called All in the Family. And I wanted to talk about this because it kind of piggybacks off, our first segment where we talked about, transgender people and everything like that. You can bring up the first slide. It seems now that, a whole family, mom, dad, son, daughter, White House, picket fence, all that has now somehow been twisted into be called white supremacy, racist, and other things. And that's not by accident. The family unit is where people get their strength from. That's where they get their support from. That's the base. That's where everything starts, is in the home. Liberals don't want that. They don't want you to depend on anybody else other than the government. The traditional nuclear family structure is shifting. There are more people, there are more working families than there are people at home now. Driven by economic pressures, rising divorce rates. Divorce rates are going up. And changing social norms. There's a transition towards single-parent households, cohabitation, and single-occupancy homes. This evolution is restructuring how individuals rely on community and extended relatives for support. When I was growing up, we would go see my grandmother every Sunday for dinner. My uncle would come up and hang out with my mom and my dad. I had a brother. We had a family. Nowadays, that's rare. That's extremely rare. The two-parent household is declining with an increase in cohabitation, divorce, and remarriage rates across the United States. So people are shacking up now. They're not making a commitment, which is, if you want a boyfriend or girlfriend, you have a boyfriend or girlfriend. If you're going to live together for an extended period of time, just get married. Divorce rates are increasing because, feminists, I don't need no man. I can do it on my own. I'm a strong, independent woman. So they don't need men. And the government will pay them not to have men. It's called welfare. It's called food stamps. The more kids you have and out of wedlock, the more money they give you. They promote it. And it's not good because everybody knows that a two-family home is much better mentally for children than a single home. And again, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not saying single mother homes are horrible and single father homes are better. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there are studies that support two-family homes are much better in the long run than single-family homes. Another thing I noticed when I was looking into this is there's a new catchphrase. Heteropatriarchy, a social system in which males and heterosexuality are privileged. I don't know what these people do all day. Do they sit around and come up with these nifty little words for things that they don't like to make it sound like it's official? If it weren't so pathetic what these people do, I would find it funny. It would be comical to me. But you actually have people that sit around and say, because you're a male and you're married and you're heterosexual, you're privileged. In feminist theory, that's pretty much all you really need to know. Heteropatriarchy, or cis heteropatriarch, is a social construct where cisgender, another made-up word, cisgender and heterosexual males have authority over other cisgendered males, females, and people with other sexual orientations and gender identities. It is a term that emphasizes that discrimination against women and LGBT people is derived from the same sexist social principle. I don't know how many lead paint chips these people had to eat growing up, or how many power lines they lived under, or how many Tide Pods they ate to get as dumb as they are right now. I wonder if they have meetings like Local 2532 of the stupid is now in session. I mean, why is it privileged to be married? I don't understand that. Why is it a privilege to be heterosexual? Why is it a privilege to be a man? you can ask these people these questions, and they will give you answers that make no sense to anybody in the world other than them. And to them, it will make perfect sense. Heterosexual males have authority over others. And what is cisgender? Where did they come up with that? If you call them a tranny, they get upset, but they can call us cisgendered? I don't. It's almost embarrassing to be a human being at this point. It really is. I mean, I don't know where we're headed. Well, I know where we're headed if we don't change, but I don't know how we got to where we are now. I don't know where it started to drift. I wish I did. I wish there was like, it's that day, like September 27th, 1985 or something like that, where we could look back and go, that's where it started. Because if we know where it started, we know how to fix it. But it's getting out of hand. It's family privilege is embedded in U.S. laws and policies, which unearned benefits the traditional white nuclear family while marginalizing alternative or extended family structures common in other cultures. What benefits do white married families have that no other families get? I don't understand that. Tax benefits are the same for everybody. If you're married, you get tax benefits. And I want to know what benefits white families get that black families don't. And I don't want to hear what you feel. I don't care what you think. I want facts. Factually, what do they get that you don't? And if you can show me something that legally is only for a white family and not for other families, I will stand with you and we'll fight it. Because that's not right. Everybody should have the same rights. And you know they do. They won't be able to tell you. What they'll tell you is a bunch of feeling and I thinks and I heard or it looks like. They won't be able to give you facts because there's no law that says this is only for white families. I don't. Historical context, the nuclear family standard arose alongside industrial capitalism and here's this word again, heteropatriarchy, requiring a specific set of economic and social conditions historically denied to marginalized groups. So here we go, and again, going back hundreds of years to say, well, they did this back then. We're not doing it now. Get over it. Stop bringing up the past. Can't change it. That's why it's called history. We've moved on. Why don't you come join us? Everything just, well, back then, well, we're not back then now. We're in 2026. We're not in 1826. We're not in 1950. We're not in 1926. We're in 2026. Things are different. And if you can't see that, then you're the problem. Let go of all the BS and just live your life. Because everybody can look in history and find something to offend them. Nobody's special in that way. Everybody can find something to be offensive to them in the past, or their race, or their sexual orientation. Everybody can look back and find things to be upset about. But we don't. Because nobody purposely wants to be upset all the time, except liberals. To them, it's like heroin. They got to get that fix. Need that fix. So if they're not miserable 24/7, I guess they'll explode or something. I don't know. Every time you think you got the angle on what they want to do, they turn around and do something else. All right, let's bring up the next slide. Many of us grew up like this. Multiple siblings, cousins were maybe not next door, but down the street, and grandparents were nearby, and you saw them. Almost on a schedule, you saw them, which made that family unit stronger. It was a tight family. We used to have dinner with my grandmother on Sundays, and she lived in Wheaton. So it wasn't right down the street, but we went every Sunday. She moved in with us. Saw our cousins a lot. Used to have family reunions. Saw our aunts and uncles, everybody. It was a great time. Family was strong, very strong. Now, most children grow up with one sibling or none. Smaller family network, and fewer relatives to lean on. Now, that may not sound like a big deal. Like, oh, so you can't call an uncle or something. But that's really important. That knowing that family is there for you kind of makes everything a little easier. You don't have to stress. You know you're not alone. There's going to be there. You can always call somebody who's in your family to help you. Not so much anymore. It's all about me. What I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. It makes me feel good. There's really no more family cohesion. And again, that's not by accident. That's by design. They want this to happen. Easier to control. Easier to manipulate people. When you don't have a unit that can back you, I guess I'll just do what they tell me, in no sense in making waves. Because there's no one behind you going, look, we'll help you. We got you. Don't worry about it. You do what's right. Don't worry about the rest. We're going to take care of you. And that's true. The village is growing smaller. And that doesn't mean in a liberal sense where you pay for everything for everybody and nobody has to work and blah, blah, blah. No. A true village is everybody helps everybody. Everybody has a responsibility. They do what they're supposed to do. And if they don't, they're held accountable. It only works if everybody works together. Not like the libs that just want to throw money at everybody and, hey, I'll take care of this. We'll take care of everything for you. Just stay home and don't do anything. We got it all for you. No, that has never worked any time in the history of the world. Name me one country where socialism has worked. Name me one country where socialism or communism has been that people have grown wealthy and prospered and were healthy. Name one country. You can't, because it doesn't happen. I think we have one more slide, I believe. Yeah, that's what I just read of it. That's new. It's just ridiculous. It's sexist and white supremacist to have a family now and be cisgendered. They're trying to make the abnormal normal and the normal abnormal. Don't let them do it. Don't let them. Don't be ashamed if you're a man with a family. Don't be ashamed. Don't let people talk you out of getting married. Oh, it's not worth it. Get married. Have children. That's what life's about. It's not about working 24/7, 365 until you die. Having kids is great. Having a wife is, No, I'm kidding. Having a wife is good. If you marry the right one will make you, the wrong one will break you. That's the truth. But yeah, it's now, it just disgusts me. You're a white supremacist if you're married with a family. They're doing it on purpose. Don't let them. You got to fight back. Be proud of who you are. Don't let anybody tell you that you're wrong. Let's bring up the last slide here. Children from single-parent homes, and these are just facts. These are not feelings. This is based on studies. Children from single-parent homes are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, and that's horrible when a child takes their own life. That's horrible when anybody does, but it's even worse when it's a child. 6 times more likely to live in poverty. 9 times more likely to drop out of high school. 10 times more likely to abuse drugs or other chemical substances. 14 times more likely to rape another person. 20 times more likely to end up in prison. And 32 times more likely to run away from home. Those are all horrible. There's nothing good in that list. I mean, if you had to look at the list and say, oh, that's not that bad, I guess you would say that, hey, dropping out of high school is not that bad compared to everything else. Still bad. So the goal is to make everybody dependent on the government. 100% absolutely dependent on the government. That's it. They don't want fathers in the houses. They don't want moms and dads together. They don't want extended families. They don't want communities. Why do you think you can do all these things online now, not even have to leave your house or interact with another human being? You can get your groceries online and have them delivered and left at your doorstep, never see anybody. Same thing with your food, your clothes. You can pay all your bills online. Hell, I think in some places you can go to court online. They're making it to where there's no need for human interaction. Keep everybody in their houses, glued to a screen, and have everything they need done they can do on the computer. That way we can watch them and monitor them. Prove me I'm wrong. Prove I'm wrong. Convince me otherwise. I'll hear all arguments for that. We're going towards a cashless society for the same reasons. Electric cars. All these can be controlled from external sources. And if you think I'm wrong, fine. Tell me. Prove to me I'm wrong. Show me facts that say, hey, Seth, you're wrong. All this is good. I bet you can. Not because I'm always right, but because I think deep down inside, 99.9% of the population agree with that. That this is all heading in a direction that we don't want to go. And we need to stop it before we get there. Because it's not going to be good. Socialism is not good. And we're going to look at Norway, Sweden. They have a huge capitalist society. They do. They also have the highest taxes in the world. And they also have, what, a third of the population that we do. So I'm so sick of hearing, like, oh, what about them? What about them? Well, what about apples and bricks? Do I think that there's some things that need to be tweaked? Yes. But overall, we live in a great country. And it's ours to keep if we want to keep it. It's up to us. So, yeah. All right, let's take the last break, and then we'll come back and get down to it.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up. Because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. But America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. The New Jersey State House Watch, hosted by Jack Brangan and Constance Detzel. APN's The Pulse is moderated by either Alexandra, Damon, Elena, or Seth. Also tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Join the revolution because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth. America's Pulse Network. During this episode of The Pulse, the host looks forward to your comments. If you like what the APN's The Pulse podcast talks about, then please share The Pulse with others.
So we're back. I'm Seth Eisenberg. This is The Pulse. And like you just heard before, there's usually more people on the show, but Damon Galdo is running for Congress, and he had some appearances he had to make. Alexandra Levine is a consultant, and she's helping candidates in Maryland, and she had some appearances she had to be at. Elena Barbera, who also is on the show, is helping Damon run for Congress. So she was busy tonight working on his, I believe, Facebook page and some other websites. So they're all busy doing things. I, of course, am single and have no life. So I am here helping everybody do their things and trying to keep the show going. If you have, feel free to post questions or comments in the chat. And again, I will get back to them or answer them as soon as I can. Like Can76 says she is here because I asked, is anyone out there? So without context, that would just be weird that someone would just post, I am. So that's why she posted that, because I asked. So she is awesome. She's participating, which is cool. Also, I have my own podcast I do once a month. It's called The Conservative Corner. It's usually the last Sunday of every month. So if you haven't watched that, you're missing so much cool stuff. I can't believe you haven't watched it yet. Also, like I said before, if you want your own podcast, contact us. We'll interview you and see if you are fit with the network and get you your own show. Again, if you want to sponsor a show or the network, because running this ain't cheap. It doesn't run on good looks and hope. If you're interested in sponsoring a podcast or the entire network, again, get in contact with us at our website and go to that little 3-line menu at the top, and it'll walk you through how to sponsor or become a podcaster. Always looking for podcasters. I do it so I don't have a heart attack. It's kind of medicinal for me. I get to vent and get it all out, and then go live my life normally and let things build up till the next time I come on and let it all out again. It works. Trust me. So we're at we're in the final segment of the show, the wrap up and Captain's Log. And we've been talking about some serious stuff for the last hour and 15 minutes. So I figured the last part of the show, like I do normally, is we talk about, funny, crazy, weird stuff and try to get out of the politics for a little bit, just so we can unwind. And then I hit you with my opinion, and I get you all wound up again. So let's look at our first story on the wrap up, which is pretty neat. This guy, that is Neil. He is a sea lion, I believe, elephant seal, who weighs 2,200 pounds. He is always going back to the stretch of the coast in Australia where he was born. It's got to the point now where people don't even notice him. He'll lay on their porch. They'll walk around him to go in the house. He'll be on the corner of the street hanging out. People just kind of step over him like, oh, what the hell? It's Neil. He pretty much runs the town. He's like the mascot, the unofficial mascot of his hometown. 2,200 pounds. That is a monster. I guess he's, I don't want to say friendly, but he's not confrontational because he could do a lot of damage at a ton. He could leave a mark at the very, like that, was it a metal post there next to him? It's bent. I guarantee he bent that. He weighs as much as a car. And he thinks and he breathes. So it's not like something stupid. Look at his eyes. He's like, yeah, I could kick your ass. He's sizing up the photographer. Or he's looking for food. Or both. Who knows? But only in Australia. Where everything down there is born and bred to kill you. Ants can kill you down there. Spiders can kill you down there. Birds can kill you down there. I think 10 of the world's deadliest snakes are down there. I mean, there you go. I mean, this doesn't surprise me when you think about Australia. Like, oh, it's a sea elephant, big deal. But that's crazy. I mean, 2,200 pounds. Neil, the sea elephant seal, hangs out in his hometown, and now he's kind of just like there, and people are like, okay, it's just Neil. You should look some of his videos up on Facebook or YouTube. They're pretty funny. I mean, he's big. I mean, and you really can't appreciate how enormous he is on a screen. It's like when I went to Florida a few years ago and went to Discovery Cove and swam with dolphins. I didn't understand how big dolphins were because I saw them on TV. I thought they were like 5 or 6 feet big. That was it. Maybe 300 pounds. They are enormous. They're like 8-9 feet long. They're like 400 pounds, and it's like a muscle, one solid muscle. So yeah, you'll get an idea, but you can't appreciate it when you look online and see him. He's just a monster. This Neil the monster. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, this is an interesting one. This is really cool. Now, it's just a tree, an old oak tree, I believe. A massive oak tree that has been linked to the Robin Hood myth, where he sheltered and stayed around him and his merry men. It's 1,200 years old and has died. Robin Hood's tree is dying or has died. A massive ancient oak tree linked to the legend of Robin Hood may have been loved to death. The 1,200-year-old major oak in Sherwood Forest is believed to have died after it didn't sprout leaves this spring. The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds said Thursday. So that is the actual tree involved with Robin Hood, where they camped around, and that's where they lived around that tree, as it said. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not cool that it died, but it's cool that what the history is behind it. You know, Robin Hood robbed from the rich, gave to the poor, stuck it to the man when he could. But yeah, was pretty interesting when I saw that, so I figured I'd share that with you all. So that's in the actual Sherwood Forest in England. Go figure. And I think we got one more here, or maybe two. Now, if you haven't heard about this, really, if you haven't heard about the diarrhea-causing lettuce, I don't know what you do for a living. It's called a Cyclosporidium. I can't even pronounce it phonetically. Parasite outbreak has been linked to shredded iceberg lettuce sourced from Taylor Farms de Mexico, sickening thousands across multiple states. The contaminated lettuce was primarily distributed through Taco Bell locations and retail stores like Walmart. Didn't Walmart have like the irradiated shrimp a while ago that had radiation or something like that? And Taco Bell, how would you know it was parasite-infested lettuce? I mean, anytime you eat Taco Bell, you end up in the bathroom. So nothing really changed for them. Nobody like, oh, wow, I'm sick. Must be Taco Bell. No, it's only, I'm not sick. What's wrong with the Taco Bell? So, yeah, nothing changed there. That fit right in with the menu, I'm assuming. And I jest. People who have this probably aren't having a great time, and I feel sorry for them. But you ate a Taco Bell. What exactly were you expecting to happen? So we got one more, I think. Yes, this moron. I don't know if you heard about this, but apparently her son was picked up trespassing or cited for trespassing. I don't know how that works. And she got to the scene and said, well, you know, I'm on The View. I'm a host. Can we just let my son go? What about, can I just take him with me now? It's funny because I think the show or two before, she had a show where she said, no one's above the law. If you break the law, you're going to be held accountable. That's how it should be. Until it happens in one of her families, like a typical liberal, then it's all different. Well, no, can't you just let him go? I'm important. I'm on TV. I'm on The View. Officers did not care. Obviously, they refused a request to drop the citation, and he was cited, and I believe he'll have a court date. It's trespassing, and he's not going to get like 90 years in prison. He might get like a $50, $60 fine. Nothing's going to happen to him. But I think it's funny that rules for thee, but not for me. And that's exactly what she's doing. I'm famous, so my son can do what he wants to do. You should drop charges. No. Survey says, kind of makes you chuckle. Because look at her. She actually thinks she's going to get something done because she's sunny and she's important. She's got things to do and people like her. And she's famous. She's on TV. Idiots. All these people are idiots. Everybody in Hollywood's an idiot. Nothing special about you, Sonny. Maybe you raise your son to obey the law and you won't have to worry about name dropping. So we're about that time. If you have ever watched any of my shows or podcasts, I usually end it with an opinion. Sometimes the opinion has something to do with the actual podcast I just did. Sometimes it's just kind of out of the blue because it's something that got stuck into my head and I wanted to say something about it. And that's today. This, what my opinion will have nothing to do with today's show. Just something that I've been thinking about and I couldn't get off my mind. So I figured I would share my opinion with you. And again, I'm not trying to change your mind on anything. I'm not trying to make you think like me. I'm just sharing my opinion because I respect the people who are watching now, and I will respect the people who are watching it later. And it's just my opinion. You don't have to like it. You can tell me to kick rocks. You can tell me to pound sand. You can tell me whatever you want to do. It's just my opinion. Listen and listen closely. The time has come. The hour is here. We are done, finished, through with the Candace Owens, the Tucker Carlsons, and all the others that are like them. We're over their lying and their enablers. For years, they danced across our screens like prophets in designer suits. Candace Owens, sharp tongue, quicker pivot. Tucker Carlson, those piercing monologues that felt like truth serum until the mask slipped. The Hodge twins and the rest peddling fear and clicks and insider scoops that somehow always landed on the same grift. Keep the audience angry, keep the donations flowing, and keep the real work at arm's length. They sold outrage by the barrel, division by the ton, and we bought it. We cheered. We shared. We let them become the face of what we thought was resistance. No more. Those aren't principled warriors. They're performers, actors. Liars who learned the algorithm better than they learned history or economics, or even basic human decency. One day they're America first. The next, they're performing cranks, flirting with poison, tearing down anyone who dares question their brand. Tucker built an empire calling out the elites. Then he cozied up to the very chaos that weakens us. Owens turned legitimate gripes into personal crusades, burning bridges, making false allegations, and alienating allies faster than she could trend. The Hodges and their echo chamber crew, they thrive on the fringe, where every headline is apocalyptic, and every situation is, trust me, just subscribe. They don't build, they burn. They don't unify, they fracture. They don't seek truth, they chase virility. And in the process, they've made conservatism look like a clown car full of egos, where loyalty is measured by how loudly you defend the latest controversy, not how faithfully you defend the country. Enough. The time has come to close the book on these grifters and their traveling circus. Real conservatism isn't a podcast personality cult. It's not endless infighting or conspiracy rabbit holes that lead nowhere but to more subscribers. It's principles. It's limited government, strong borders, free market, individual liberty, and a culture that values truth over theater. It's the quiet work of building families, communities, and institutions that outlast the next election cycle. We don't need another savior with a microphone and a victim complex. We need men and women of substance, flawed, yes, but honest, who argue ideas, not just their own, not just own the libs or the Nikons or whoever's trending this week. The liars had their run. They divided us when we needed unity. They entertained us when we needed steel in our spines. So stand up, log off their feeds, turn off the endless loop of grievance and gotcha. Save your money. The Owens era, over. The Carlson brand, retired. The others, done. This is the turning, not towards leftism, not towards apathy, but towards clarity. Toward a conservatism that wins because it's rooted in reality, not ratings. The liars had their time. Now it's ours. The reckoning has come, and we are finally done. Again, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can tell me to pound sand or whatever, but I just wanted to share it with you. And that's that. So it is that magic time. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. Again, Damon, Alexander, and Elena had some things to do for the elections. So they want to send their apologies for not being able to be here, but they're doing some important stuff that we all should be supporting. If you live in New Jersey, District 1, Damon Cowder. That's all you need to know. That's it. You vote for him, you're good. Justin Murphy. Vote for him, you're good. Tim Fazenbaker. You vote for him, you're good. These are conservative candidates that want nothing but good things for their community. They're not working to go to a higher level. They just want to help. So let's help them help us. Not running for anything. I did once before, and I just don't think I am made for a political life. It's just me. I'm too vocal. I don't do well with sitting by and just thank you. And I don't like asking people for money. And that's another thing. All those people I just mentioned, Tim Fazenbaker, Justin Murphy, and Damon Gallagher, they need money. Running a campaign is not cheap. And they're like me. They don't like asking for money. But since I'm not asking for money for me, I'm asking for them. I have no problem. Give them as much money as you can, $5, $10, $15, $20. Doesn't have to be millions. And I think there's a limit anyway. Anything you can give would be helpful. It's that simple. Or give your time if you live close by. Go door knocking for them. Get out their information. Just do whatever you can to get these people elected because they need to get in. It's that simple. And if you don't support them, you can't complain anymore. That's also very simple. And again, you can find me on X, Facebook, all the other places, Rumble. If you have a question about anything I said about, you can go to Facebook to the Conservative Corner and send a message and I'll get back to you. Other than that, I'll be on next Wednesday on the Pulse. I should have another Conservative Corner this month, depending again on the surgery, when that gets scheduled. So I may or may not. As soon as I know something, I will let you all know. Other than that, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure talking with everybody and interacting with people. Have a good rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend. Other than that, have a good one, and I will talk to you all later.
The Conservative Corner Podcast. Hoist the standard. Stand fast and sail with Captain Seth Eisenberg every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yo, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with the keys to the cage and the devil to pay. We lay to fiddler's grave. All together, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
America's Pulse Network thanks you for watching tonight's episode of the Pulse Podcast. See you at the next packed episode that will take you from breaking news to informative topics. So please click on the subscribe button to get notified for upcoming episodes. If you liked what the Pulse covered, then share the Pulse Podcast with others. APN's The Pulse hosts look forward to seeing you on the next episode.